Whoa. It's either all music or no music. What's going on there? Oh my goodness. I'm all alone, guys. Oh, here we are. Oh my god, there's the camera so high up. Or maybe, oh my god, I'm just so low down. She sets the stream up like it's for her, but I'm the one. I'm the one today. I'm the boy who speaks to y'all. What's going on, guys? I'm finding the chat. Okay. Hello. Yeah, you guys aren't getting any of the music, are you? It's like... There you go. A little bit. Little bops. Okay. Hello, Refrigerated Art, Cookie Queen, Certified Nobody, Farwin. Disappointed in you. I haven't gotten to read your thing, Farwin, because you goofed a bit. I'll probably read it for the next critique stream, which will be this Saturday. It was an honest goof on your part, I believe. Yeah. Because it was a whole ordeal, was it not? So usually we do critique streams on Saturdays, the last Saturday of the month. But recently we decided to split them in two because they were going for 4 hours and our voices were dying. So going forward, we're gonna start critiquing in 2 sections, and we'll critique long forms and anything else submitted early on the last Thursday of the month, and then we'll critique short forms on the last Saturday, or I guess anything left over. If you submit your short form early, we're good. Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, we're going to split it into two. And usually it'd be the last week of the month that we're going to do this. However, next week we're doing the 24-hour comic stream where we're going to make a comic with 24 pages in 24 hours for the second time in our life. So that will be a thing. If you want your work critiqued this Saturday, it can't be any long form stuff, meaning any scripts or large amount of pages aren't going to be collected anymore. But if you would like your stuff critiqued, like 3 pieces of art on Saturday, you have to become a patron at the critique tier, which I believe is $8. So yeah, you gotta have money bags to convince me to look at your art and say things. Okay, it's I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of things to look at today. I was reading them. I was a good boy. I need to remember. My only weakness is money. Same. Hi, Madoka. Mega, you want to say hi to the stream? Come here. Come say hi. Come say hello. Say hello to everyone. No, she doesn't want to. She doesn't like you guys. That sass she gave me. Okay. I need to sit properly in my chair, like an adult. Maybe move the camera up very slightly. Did you get water? If, like I said, if not, you're a loser. I usually have water. I was very insulted that you said I don't have water. It's Ursula who forgets water. Doggo. Oh, she's just gonna lay down beside me. God, I guess I have to. I guess I have to start critiquing. So, who wants to go first? Because I got Mouth. I haven't read Idec's yet. I'm sorry about that. I know Ursula would be going over it though. I have not read Far Ones. Didn't have any chance on those ones. Thank you. It's husband since 2018, but I ordered this early. So I've actually been a husband since 2019, so it's a bit of a lie. Likely miss Saturday stream. The boyfriend is visiting, but I'll be here to watch tonight. It's very good. I feel like you should give yourself a bit more time for long form, Bones. I will. I will definitely give myself more time for long forms, but I didn't want to give you guys less time. It's just because we don't have the entire month. So next month it'll be this week, right? But not this week. Sorry. It'll be the second last week of the month that'll be due. It's just this month we have the 24-hour stream, which is messing everything up, and everyone's confused. I submitted some comic pages, so I think Ursula is the one to look at them, I think. I also read through your comic. Bones is taking one for the team. Exactly. AZ is down? Okay, I'll start with AZ. I'm gonna open it so I remember what's going on here. Everyone's work was so short today, which is kind of great. But it's just because you guys were all scrambling, which is why I wouldn't push it back another week on you. I gotta find it. Plop. It is opened. Bones can't read. I have trouble reading. It's a thing. I use text to speech for the most part. However, I am capable of reading I'm really good at it. So I read chapter 16. Oh, that's what it is. 16, not scene. Um, yeah, everyone was thrown off. It's okay. Yeah, so I read chapter 16 of AZ's comic that has a working title that I forever forget, even though it has like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I always forget it. Is it blow out the candle? Blow the candle out. Don't worry about the title. I rushed this one. Um. So yeah. Yeah, it definitely felt rushed. Like I can feel the rushedness of it, and I can definitely feel that there's a lot of like retconning and stuff going on. Like not huge amounts of retconning, but just like, oh, I'll remember to put this in early. Um, I think as far as like the concepts go and like the directions you want to take things, um, it all seems pretty good. Once again, it's all building off of stuff that you have added before, so it doesn't feel like completely out of the blue. A lot of the things, um, yeah, working things in the story overall. Yeah, that makes sense. Hmm. I like the stuff that I usually like. Like, oh my god, I'm so itchy. I have itchy scars. Why? Um, I like I like the relationship between the two main characters, and I like um the way that you work with conflict and how it's all kind of like slowly building on itself and building on like elements that you've already introduced, and it's a lot of very large conflict for the character without it being like without it being like world-ending huge conflicts. It's large in the sense that everything's very personal and it's very understandable and good to follow. Um, yeah. I guess some things like I don't have like too much to say because it was kind of a short thing. Um, I guess some things I don't know are, oh, what is her name? Sarah. I'm not quite. I may not remember everything, but I wasn't sure like um how much Sarah knows about uh Des um and his like uh queerness or whatever. Like I wasn't sure like what she does know because it felt like there was a lot of subtext, but I wasn't sure if like I wasn't quite, I'm not quite sure like what her opinions on all of these things were. It might be just me not remembering everything. Um, there's about to be a flashback with Des that will get into that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like that was something I was kind of confused on, but I was kind of letting slide. Um, the the one thing that stood out to me um was you mentioned that you were gonna like expand more on like um I think it was Des being non-binary. Yeah. I think there was like a point where you said that, and I think that's like an interesting thing to go down. Definitely. Um, it's just like when I read the script, um, when he says that he's some kind of a girl, I suppose. Like I, yeah, if you have more plans to work on that, like that's good. I think like my initial read on that was more like just kind of like the internalized homophobia of society generally, and being like, oh yeah, I'm gay, so I'm a bit of a girl kind of energy. Like that's what I got out of that. Without um the little added notes from you on the side. But yeah, so like I just like if it's gonna be my more clear, like that's cool. It's just that would be like my go-to thought, especially in like a society where like um everything's on the down low. Um those kind of opinions feel like even more common than usual. And I think that's where my brain went to initially. Um as opposed to it being like an actual exploration of like his gender, which was which is cool. But yeah, if add more context going forward, like that'll be very interesting. Um yeah. I think that was like the main thing I kind of thought to mention. I'm really interested in like the Gil and Rory situation and how that is starting to unfold. It feels like a pretty important plot line, and it's definitely feels like it has a lot of weight to it. Like, because if it's going to be one of the main kind of dealios, like I think um, you're doing a good job with that. If it's not, then it's definitely getting like a lot of focus. Um, did you have any questions? I need to like look at questions because yeah, it was like 6 pages. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Do you have any like specific questions about it? Do 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 do. Yeah, no problem. Get your thinks on. I hope everyone else here is doing good, even though I realize it must be weird to like listen to me chat about like stories you like guys don't even know about. It's all secretive and whatnot. Not that I can phrase off the top of my head. Okay. If you have any like really specific questions, like you can send them to me like after, and I can try and type something out. Um, I'm just sometimes bad at responding. That's my only stipulation. Yeah. Psst, 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 calling your boy. Was he in the background? I don't know if I'm allowed to read the other scripts. I always read AZ's stories, so I know what it's all about. And it's really helpful. That's good. Who wants to go next then? In the meantime, between nothing, nothing different is happening. Cause I got mouth. I could go on with mouth. Uh, Idec, so I need to read yours. I need to read yours and Farwin still. But Ursula will go over it. It's just some of like the later submissions. Like I just need some time on them is all. Alright, I'll go with Mouth. I think, is Mouth the only other one I read? Did I only read 2? I thought I read another one. Oh, I read, yeah, okay, I'll go with Mouths, and then I can talk about, Nats. Okay, I need to look at Mouths, because Mouth always leaves comments on the Discord, and I need to answer those questions instead of being like, what questions do you have? Okay, so you sent in a second draft of the chapter that you sent in last time about the cow heist, as we would pronounce it in Canada. So as far as like the differences in reading them, I did like this one a lot more. I guess for kind of different reasons. It does feel like a little more fleshed out than your previous chapter. And I'm sorry if I'm terrible at names, but you have your 2 vampire hunters, and I think you did do a good job at creating like a new character dynamic. Instead of just having the straight man, having a more nervous character to kind of play the similar role as a straight man, but like a different character, which will add like a different flavor to your story. Different character interactions are nice and good. So that was cool, and I think you did a good job with that. I think you gave them some cute chemistry as well, which is pretty neat. And they do feel different than Pegasus and Unicorn now, especially with the dynamic that they have. He's the straight man, but they're both irresponsible. He's just less of 2 evils. Yeah, I can see it. I think your pacing was a bit better too, from what I recall. Because one of my things with you is I'm always telling you to slow down, and I think you slowed down a good amount for this, for us to actually take some time and learn some different things and enjoy some interaction between the characters. So I think you did a really good job with that, and you are definitely getting better with your pacing. Because it's still very fast-paced, but it's not so fast that I'm losing myself. What's your favorite flavor of character? And I like the conflict that you're setting up, because like you did this before, but I feel it stronger this time, with them wanting to hunt vampires, but also being nervous about it. Also, like the disbelief that vampires could actually come back, and that you're setting up well that things are gonna go poorly at the cow heist. So yeah, I think like all of those things are working a lot in your favor, and you're doing a pretty good job. And once you like get out of like just having outlines here, I think you'll have some good script to go off of. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to read your question. Is the added scene too out of place? I don't actually remember which scene was added, so I don't think they feel very like out of place, because it all felt very together. I was on NyQuil when writing the outline part. Wow, it was beautiful. You did well. I talked about the characters being good and different. You added a bit about the characters. Holt is a hopeful amateur that has big dreams. Golden Retriever boyfriend. A washed up pro that sticks with the former only because he has a crush on him. He only takes certain things seriously and often teases Holt. I can definitely see Holt's character. I didn't quite see the teasing part from Maddox yet. I saw a lot of like the nervous this I think my impression was he was new to this rather than like a washed up pro. So like I think there's things you could like lean into a little more to give off that vibe, but it also can come out later that he's been in on this, or they've been in on this. I don't know the pronouns, I realize. Yeah, our recordings are usually available on our we have a silenced, unlisted playlist for our things, but our critique streams are usually like not even unlisted, so we're good. Yeah. Do you have like more questions, Mouth, like about what I've like said so far? I mentioned a couple times in the script he's caught a vampire before. Okay, I might have just blurred through that. I'm sorry. Or I might have like just gotten the characters mixed up. I would say like if you have done that, it'll probably be fine. A lot of the times it's more like me reading scripts that can be difficult. Because sometimes like when I'm just seeing like different names, like I don't click who is who when they're talking, and that's like a me problem, not like a you problem. But if it's in the actual comic, I probably would notice just fine. Let me try so hard. Yeah, because like because if I might have like confused Holt saying it rather than Maddox, in which case like it's like making sense to me. I too can't comprehend names. Yeah, it's just a difficulty I have. I think what might be giving me the impression that Maddox is new to it and might have me like glossing over it is kind of the way that he sorry, that he talks to Holt. Like Maddox would be like, do you seriously think you could make vampire hunting a job? And Holt's like, of course. And if you actually wanted to help, we could be great. Like, I think, like, when I read things like that, like, it just sounds like, Maddox had, like, never even considered vampire hunting as a job. But, like, yeah, it's just, like, little things like that sometimes might be what throw me off. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm beginning to think I can't comprehend. I'm a whole disaster when it comes to organizing script, but I have my own chaotic way of doing stuff. Yeah. Scripts are hard to read. Like, it's because he had expedite vampire hunting, so it was a bad experience, and he tries to discourage Holt from it. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it is just me or if like it needs like a little more reminder. Like I'd I'd ask someone's opinion who can comprehend the differences between names. Um uh but yeah, I guess that was kind of the impression that I got from things. Do you have like more questions, or should I move on to Nat's story? And then I can ask Ursula to come down. I wonder if she even knows that I'm streaming. I was going more he's so indifferent or lazy than nervous, but other than that, Thinky Bones. Yeah, he has like some nervous energy. That's all. I think it might be they both have, or like one of them has nervous energy, so I assumed all of them was nervous. I did get that they were sticking around because of a crush. Okay, so we got that. Okay, I'm gonna move on to Nat's story now. So yours is pretty. For some reason it's not loading, so I'm gonna make sure to reload it so that Ursula can actually read your comic. It's so pretty. I like your colors. Okay, I can't say anything about art though because I don't get paid to do art. I get the writing books. I'm not gonna go too in depth with writing, just because for one, these are all like finished pages. So if I go too hard into things, you're gonna be like, oh no, I need to destroy everything that I've written and start anew, and that's not what we want, right? Also, because you have like finished pages, Ursula will probably talk forever. So you won't even need me. So I'll try to be more general. I like your world building and I like your characters. I think it's pretty neat what's going on. Your pacing is pretty decent. Like you occasionally have kind of like a jarring end to a scene here and there, but it's not that bad. There's lots of like conflict building up, and it's very like personal conflict to the main character here, which is pretty good. There's a deer in it, which means it's 10 out of 10 just by default. The one thing that stood out to me, which was actually a little kind of funny in the way that it works, is you do this thing on page I don't get page 7, I think, where you introduce the character with like this scroll that it's very Scott Pilgrim-esque. And I find these scrolls are like one of the things that aren't integrated the best way. Oh, she's here. Because and I think it's because you're so good at showing off the characters before you reach to this point that it feels really redundant to actually read them, because you get like her name and she's like nervous, sees flaws in anything, botanical witch, magical veterinarian. And the only thing like I already got a lot of that information just through your showing. So it just kind of feels redundant after the fact of like meeting her, and she's already had like her little panic attack. We've had the introduction of her. In just like 2 pages of prologue, you do a real good job of getting across like this character and what her dealio is. Like you have like the little posters, you have the past self and everything. Like you do so well with your just visual storytelling, that uh that those little scrolls end up feeling pretty redundant, and it felt really redundant the second time you did it, with introducing the other character, because we'd already met them at this point. Yeah. um when we meet Ina or Enna, who we've already met before, like I feel like there is probably like um a better way to make use of like the scroll thing, um because it just sort of like it feels like a useful tool, and when you use it for like explaining things like the for like the little dragony thing, like I thought that was cool because it almost felt like looking at like notes or whatever. Yeah. Scroll thingies, those with 3 main characters, because I wasn't sure it was clear. I do it to explain the magic system. Yeah, I would say you need to be like a little a little a little more confident in your telly bits, cuz like I think you do a really good job of explaining things so far. Like I like the dragonfly cell, cuz that's like not something like you can easily get across, but like I guess like even with the scrolly things, if it wasn't a focus on their personality type and just their position in the world, like those kind of notes, like it would feel a little less on the nose. Like I think that'd be the main dealio if it was just about their ranks and whatnot. But otherwise, yeah. Good goats. Very good goats. We're talking about goats. Do you have any questions about writing or anything like you actually wanted to ask me? Because I can do that and not be all over the place. I'll check to make sure you didn't write something and I ignored it. Like, there's no need to say she's nervous when she's been panicking for 3 pages. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure if Ayla, the main character, was a bit too whiny. I didn't find the main character whiny. I thought that I thought it was pretty relatable to like anxiety, and a pretty interesting conflict for them so far. I have a fear that she complains too much. No, I didn't get that sense. I get the sense that she has a lot of anxiety. A whole bunch of it. And I'm really interested in the voice bird thing. But yeah, I got I got all positives basically to say. My only negatives are be more chill to yourself. Yeah, I think it's an intriguing story. I could see people loving the heck out of the story as is. Yeah. Be less anxious. You portrayed anxiety good. I'll send Ursula. She can talk to you. Okay, I did everything. I haven't read Idecs or Far Ones. I'll do that next time.
I haven't read. I've read Idec. Going to bed. Hello. Let's say hi. Say hello. Hi. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, wag your tail.
Yeah, look away.
See, the tail's going. She's excited to see you guys.
Yeah.
Say hi, Charlie. Say hi, Charlie. Hi. Yeah, say hi. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello.
Say hello. Say hello. Okay. We'll get out of here. Alrighty. Hi. I tried putting on makeup. I don't think I did a good job, but. Well, thank you, Pee-Pee. I think I cannot tell. Honestly, I don't know if I got my foundation color wrong or if I'm usually just really red, but I feel like I look like a clown.
You're a vampire.
I'm a vampire. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. There we go. Bones, you've got everything over, like, off to the side. It's very strange. I don't understand your setup. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Don't put yourself down. Aw, thanks. Giving me Aphrodite energy. Ooh. Ah, yes. Okay. All right. Nat, my friend. Okay. So on the art side of your comic, I really love it. It's very cute. Like Bones was saying, I won't tell you to make any big changes because obviously a lot of these are finished pages, and I don't want you going back and redoing your work because that won't get you anywhere. Then you'll always be redoing the same pages. But anyways, I think what you've done really well, especially is your color work. You have very like a very consistent color story, and I think you do a really good job of adding emphasis where you need it, like good contrast. For example, you tend to use like this lovely lovely highlights on things that you want to well, highlight to bring to the forefront of attention. Yep, and you do a really great work with color where main characters and main elements are very bright and very saturated, where background characters are portrayed more using like dull dark colors. And yeah, I think you do a really good job using your color story to say what's going on. I also like a lot of your panel layouts. You do a good job of leading the eye around the page through most stuff. That sounds like backhanded. I mean, just generally, you're really good at it. I don't think there's any places where I was like, I don't know about this composition. I think compositionally, you're really solid, and color-wise, you're really solid. Yeah, great work overall. The only thing I'd like to see, like, more of, and I want to see more of it because you do it, where, you do these emotional, these panels where emotion is really heightened, like this panic panel is one, in particular, and, you do them really well. You're really good at showing the emotion. I felt it the same when, she's talking to, like, the bird creature, at the pond thingy. But yeah, it felt like, like you do a really good job of showing the emotion through like the colors and the paneling and effects and stuff. And I'd like to see more of it pushed. For example, on this panic page, you have her, um, you have this panel where it's like panic and it's like really big and like she feels like she's suffocating. And then you do this like really pulled out shot right after it, where she's like fighting with herself right internally and freaking out and it feels like alone in this crowd, right? But the panel itself is very like it's like flat straight on, it's a blank background, and I just feel like the emotions could be heightened through maybe a more not dynamic, but like a more pushed like camera angle, like a more extreme camera angle, or maybe warping things using like really dramatic colors like that bright pink, for example. Yeah, it just felt like going from this like bright pink red to then white just felt a little off kilter. Like I kind of get it because you're transitioning from like this heightened emotion to like introducing her in the next page, but I think, yeah, just for future scenes, I just want to see you push that stuff because you're good at it, and yeah. Anyways, little nitpicky thing. Yeah, the other thing I would also say is don't be afraid to break panels. And again, you do it really well when you choose to do it. Like I really like when Orla works on the core for this one plant statue creature thing. Like you're breaking the panel with like the antlers streaming out on top. But like I think you need to like push it more, push the contrast. I found like on my first look through, I didn't notice it till my second read through. I didn't see like the antlers on top of everything, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I want it to stand out more so that I can really see this cool panel, especially this effect showing like, oh, Orla's magic is like super great. Like heighten the contrast, really push the angles and the effects to really show like this cool stuff you're doing with your paneling. Yeah. Basically what I'm asking is like do what you're doing, but like do more of it. Like push it harder. Let me see. I think there was also one contrast issue you want to keep an eye out for in the future on this page with the bird appearing. I initially did not notice the bird. Despite you doing like a lot of really good things with it. Like you have her looking at it obviously, so your eye follows like her eye line, plus like her nose is like pointing right at the bird. You have like leading lines leading to it. It's sitting in a place in like the focal point on like in this panel. So like I shouldn't have missed it, but I did, and I think part of it is because the body of the bird is so dull. And I get that like the tail seems to be like a glowy thing, while the rest of it is more dull colored, but I think it needs just like an extra highlight on it or something, like a reflection of the little light she's holding or something like that. To like reflect off it to make it stand out more. And if you don't want to do that for like magic or plot reasons, adding like a highlight behind it to kind of silhouette it or something would work as well. Just because I found with the contrast as it was, it kind of blended in the background the first time I saw it, because I read through the panels and then I saw this last panel and I was like, wait, where'd that bird come from? And then I was like, oh, I missed it in the last panel. So just making sure to heighten that contrast for important elements. Yeah, and I think one place in particular where I was thinking about that, the panel breaking thing and like pushing it was these 3 panels where the dragon creature gets like bonked and then shakes its head and then roars. Like I like how you have the roar effect like breaking the panel, but I want it to like break more. And I'm noticing like here where it's shaking its head gets kind of like squished because you're afraid of like breaking the panel borders. But I think it's like it's fine to either have like parts of the shake disappear behind the borders of the panel, because people will still understand the movement, or putting it on top of the panel, so then you get this kind of like dynamic popping out of the panel to show like big movement, for example. But yeah, really minor. You're like almost there. You just need to push it a bit more. And yeah, other than that, like, yeah, you've got a really good handle on your panels. It's a really fun read. I love when you do stuff like this where the panel pops out for your magic effects. Totally just keep doing what you're doing, just like push it more. Yeah. Yeah, do you have any questions, Nat? I'll check on Discord in case you left a question that I didn't see. Okay, so reading your questions on Discord, yes, I definitely think your characters are readable and different from each other. I said all the stuff already about color, but your characters have very distinguished like silhouettes and shapes. So yeah, I didn't have any trouble telling characters apart, and you did a great job with the using color to distinguish like who's a main character, who's a background character. And yeah, it was definitely easy to read. Really, really great work. Yeah. It's understandable and easy to read. It definitely is. Yeah. So let me know if you have any other questions. If not, I will. Didn't have any other questions? Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for submitting. Great work. Yeah. So who would like to go next? So Caro, if you're here, I can look at your stuff. Idec, I read yours. Farwin, I have not read yours. I wanted people who hadn't seen the comic to give me their opinion. There. Heck yeah. Oh no, I'm sniffly. Bones. Can you grab me a tissue? He doesn't care about me. He does not. I guess I'll have to get my own tissues. Be right back. care about me. He doesn't give a heck. Oh dear, system updates. Okay, anyways. Oh my god. It's all kicking off. Okay. So. Okay, Idec is here. Phil, I don't know if Mackie Roll is rebooting. You'll have to ask Caro. Okay, Idec. Let me give you my feedback. Okay, so looking through, let me quickly read your comments. I've only got these 12 rough pages sketched out. Okay, so. Oh, sorry, Phil. We were looking at, I think it's a cover for Mackie Roll. Possibly. But yeah, not sure if it's rebooting, but a cover was submitted for critique. Okay. Idec, my friend. So, looking through it, looking through your rough sketches and stuff, I think you're on a really good track. I think for the most part, your panels are really, like, solidly laid out. It was really nice seeing, because a lot of it is, like, feels like thumbnail sketches. Maybe not thumbnail sketches, but, like, sketches compared to, like, actual finished work. So it was nice to see, like, little panels where you'd drawn, how it's gonna look in the end, because your current sketches are a good indication of like what's gonna be in the panel, but like what you're adding is like much more dynamic. So as soon as I saw that stuff, I was like, okay, nothing to worry about. It's very dynamic. Yeah. And I think you've got a really solid foundation for the rest of the comic. There's, oh god, I'm sorry. There's, okay, sorry. Let me figure out what I'm trying to say. So I think overall your compositions are good. It's very easy to read. I can tell what's going on even through like your sketches. I think you do some really fun expressions. And like I said, I can see that like the final product is going to be really dynamic. And I like what you've drawn in so far. It's very fun. The one thing I would worry about, there are a couple panels where I think you might need to push like how dynamic it looks like a little bit more. Like, let me see. So for example, this page here. So like I get the emotion that you're trying to portray, where he's intimidated by the forest that he's about to go into and get his first Pokemon, right? And I mostly feel that from the second shot where he's looking like nervously up at this thing. But I think the actual like image of the forest needs to reflect that a bit more, because right now you've got like a very flat view at it. It's a very neutral establishing shot, with the exception of like the dark shadows between the trees. I'd recommend doing something cool with the camera for like for example, You could do like a worm's eye view, so you're looking up at these really daunting trees. You could do some cool stuff with like color and effect. I'm not sure if this is going to be a color comic. But you could do some like cool moody stuff, like adding like really distinct shadows to all the trees. Not distinct, sharp shadows or like ominous shadows. Doing like, I don't know, ominous things between the trees, something like that. But yeah, just something to really heighten the emotion of how intimidating this feels to Riley. Is that the character's name? I think it's Riley. I'm also bad with character names. Maybe spooky eyes in the forest would be a good one. Yeah, adding just shading and shadows and stuff would really help. But right now, just with the camera angle and how things are shaded, it feels very neutral. And I think you need to do something to like push it towards being ominous. Or intimidating. Maybe not ominous, but intimidating. But yeah, I think you do a really great job with a lot of the comedy parts of it, like when they're trying to catch a Pokemon and like and miss and get hit by the sleep powder and yeah, and just like great expressions, really funny. I really like what you got going on in these bottom panels. With I don't know this Pokemon's name. I'm a fake fan. With the little Pokemon, like reeling up and doing the poison sting. I think that's really great. How you have the rev up and then the push you in the next panel. You've got some good motion going on through those. I would say Venipede. Okay. Thank you. Like I said, I'm a fake fan. I don't know what Pokemon are. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is just like a my preference thing or if you actually need to do it. But I'd be curious about doing like pushing your paneling more. Maybe this isn't the comic to do it. Cuz this feels like not gag strip, but like I don't know. There's nothing wrong with having just rectangular paneling and stuff. But I did notice, well, I don't know. Anyways, I think it would be cool to see you kind of push your paneling more. Again, maybe it's for a different project than this one. And just you using like different shapes, trying having things overlapping, having your panels break more. Yeah, I think there's more cool stuff you could do with your paneling, but what you have here is still really strong and really good. There was one page to look out for, and I tend to do this as well when characters are conversing. So your characters here, you have one column of the mom and the other column of Riley. And I would say it feels really halved. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I hit the mic. It's very halved, which you can work, but it can be distracting. It's very, especially with the mom, it's a little bit better with Riley because like they're shifted around, but the mom, it's like a straight line of the mom down the page, which can be distracting when you're reading. I'd recommend taking like maybe 2 of these panels and like squishing them together. It could be changing like the closeness of the character to the camera, something like that, but just like something to break up the column of each character on each side. That's just something to look out for, and I tend to do that. Usually for me, it's a problem where characters are, all of their dialogue is split up between panels when there's lots of places where you could mix it into one panel and just have them talking to each other in one panel. Because that's the beauty of comics. You can have a lot going on in one panel, and all the motion is implied. But yeah, I think that was it. Overall, really solid work. I just want to see you push stuff more. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Anything I missed or anything you were wondering about? I don't think you have to worry about it not being good, because I think it's very good and very funny and cute. And I like how Riley keeps trying things and failing, but they keep trying. Yeah. Do you have any tips on keeping character designs consistent? I would recommend character turnaround sheets. Definitely have a reference sheet, so you always have your little Bible to go back to of what your character looks like. The only other thing I was curious about was the 10th page. What's your opinion? Oh, let me check. Page 10. Oh, I like that one. Yeah, I think definitely you need like background elements behind the large panel just to show like, I don't know, the trees and the ground and stuff. But I think from just like motion and composition wise, I think it's great. Because in the first panel you have like enough room for the speech bubble and the powder effect and Riley reacting, and I like how the motion shows Riley falling. And there's lots of room for background elements and atmosphere and all that good stuff. Yeah, I think you do a good job showing the movement, especially with the speech bubble trailing off with the powder. It works very well. I think you did great. I want to see more stuff like that. I want to see more cool paneling that really supports the action. Heck yeah, you got this, Idec. Thank you for submitting. Okay. Who is next? I think that just leaves Caro. I don't know if Caro is here. Caro, are you here? Excuse me while I just blow my nose. Okay, well, Caro, if you are not here, then I will give you your feedback and you can ask me questions after. Okay. Let me see. What were the questions? Ba-ba-da. Okay, general comic, my new cover. Okay, for Monkey Roll Volume 1. Okay, so overall, very cute. I like all of the elements you got going on. I think you did a really good job with drawing Mackie. Like, I think your character artwork. Do you have pollen allergies? I don't think so. I'm on a medication that gives me a stuffy nose, so that's my problem. But I have family members who get really bad pollen allergies this time of year. Actually, Bones gets really bad pollen allergies. His skin gets irritated. Anyways. But yeah, Caro, your artwork I think is always improving, and I think you've done a really good job with the character artwork here. I like all the little details, like the freckles. The color's really great. You got like good highlights and shadows going on, good character expression, solid pose, like all that good stuff. I think I also like the you've got the little medal as the volume number. I think that's really cute. And I like the typography for the title. I don't know if you've shown that before on our stream, but yeah, I really like it. It's really cute and fun. The one... So I think two things to look out for would be the placement of the typography. I think it gets really lost. You have your title like right tight at the top, it's behind the character, and don't get me wrong, you can do overlap of like titles and characters and different elements and stuff, but I think because it's covered by a character and it's like tight up to the top, it's hard to read. It's not the first thing I look at. It's not like my eyes don't go to it. It really blends in with the background because of these the lines you've got going through. It's just things are very busy behind the title, and it's so just like crushed and off to the side. It's really hard to see. As for the byline, like the story and art by Caro, that is also pushed really close to the side. I don't know if you're planning to print this. If you are, I would be really careful about putting elements that close to the edges, because when you print them, they're going to trim the edges when they print out the pages, and your typography stuff is going to get cut. So be really careful with putting stuff that close to the edge. I usually leave like quite a bit of space between important elements like titles and names and stuff. Like, don't put them near the edges because they're gonna get trimmed. Because yeah, sometimes when things print, the edges get trimmed weird. So yeah, I would move things in closer to the middle, and I would heighten the contrast. I find the black story and art section with the white outline, it gets really lost. I might switch it if I were you, because it's on like a pretty dark background. I'd recommend having white text with like a black stroke around it, or possibly finding a color that it's hard because you have like really dark green like pants and background, and then Mackie's hand is like really light, so it's hard to overlap like that. You might want to like maybe move it to the other side where there's like a better contrast, so you could put like white text on like the dark pants. But yeah, there's a contrast issue there. The other thing I would say if you're printing this is I'm not sure if you're gonna get the really bright pinks and greens that you see here. Depending on where you print, I definitely get a test done because printing, unless you get really specialty inks, it does get hard to get these really bright, vibrant colors. These like neon colors, because they'll show great on a screen, but they don't print the same. So I definitely test to make sure that green, like especially the green on his shirt, and the green in the background, like make sure those can print, as well as the pink in the background, because when we were printing 9-point, I had lots of like really neon colors like that, and they turned out really dull compared to how they look on screen. So watch out for that. The other thing is I would tone down your background, make that less contrasty because I think it's really stealing the show. I'd also size down Mackie to make him like a smaller element on the composition, just because like as much as I love the character art and stuff, it's just you need room for your typography as well. So just leaving some space like above him would really help. And yeah, and just working on those contrast issues. But overall, I think it's a really cute cover. It just needs some tightening up with where elements are placed and some of the contrast stuff. I feel weird finally being like less in the contrast, because normally I'm telling you guys to heighten the contrast. So I don't know. So yeah, so that I would say be careful with. I also might take the red on this medallion, like the metal, and maybe bring it closer to like the salmon color of the sushi. As well as the gold feels a little out of place. I might find colors that kind of match with the rest of the colors, because the gold and the red are very warm, whereas the rest of the colors are on the very like cool tone scale. So I might just shift them so they're a little cooler, so they fit in a little bit. Or go real hard with the warm colors and really get that contrast going. So up to you. Totally depends. So yeah, so that's my feedback on that. Hey, Fitz. Oh, also hi, Sugar Plum. I missed you. I'm sorry. For the next piece, oh right, so you're trying to figure out a style for known service. Right, so it's an NCIS inspired story, so I wanted a harder feel to it. 4 possible styles. Can I have advice on which one would fit best? Oh, are these all styles? Okay. So when I was looking through these, they all seem viable. So I understand why you're having trouble picking a style. Right, so you have the first style, which has like these really high contrast shadows everywhere. I really like it, but that's just because I like that kind of style. I love those high contrast shadows. But I'd recommend I think the feel that this gives is it's very noir, if that makes sense. It gives very like detective comic feels, or horror comic feels, like thriller feels. I'm not sure, because I think this story has some like obviously it has some darker sides, but probably has like more humor to it, considering like the character descriptions you've given. So you might want to go for something lighter or something that has the ability to feel kind of more light and airy from time to time. So I'm not sure if this would work unless you're going for like a really kind of like dark, edgy story. Oh, it does kind of like World Ends with You. Yeah, Nat's right. You should also consider how long it takes. They do have many illustrations. So your second style, I think this is cute. This feels like, I don't know the right term for it, but it feels more like typically the style you would use for like a webcomic. Um, you know, just like things are lined. I do really like the white highlights you have on lots of things. Um, they definitely help with like defining shape and contrast. Um, Overall, seems like a really solid style to me. I like the simple shadow stuff. Um, it all looks good. This one, I think you said you like this one a lot. This one feels very like new anime style. Does that make sense? There's definitely like a style in anime where they'll do. Oh, I wish I could think of what anime I'm thinking in particular, but there's definitely some that have this like um, pastel-y colored lines. Uses a lot of like blues and pinks and stuff.
No, leave him alone. You can have neighbors, okay?
I wasn't starting to fade. I'm so confused. But yeah, this feels very anime to me, which isn't a bad thing. Um, um, yeah, I think with this one it could work. I think it's very like cute. It gives things kind of like a sci-fi air to me. I think it might just be the the colors in particular. Um, but I think you might run into some contrast issues. I think if you go with like a colored line art, you really need to make sure that like your values are there. Um, just because like you have instances where um like the shadows on his hair feel weird because you have these shadows that are like cut through with these like lighter lines, which are the outlines of his locks of hair. Um, so like if I were you, I would go in and maybe like if the shadow's darker, I'd add in like an even darker line to really show the like a shadow is there. Instead of leaving them this kind of lighter color that you've gone with. There's also contrast issues where like parts of the hair lock really disappear into the hair because the line art and the base hair color is like very similar. So I'd recommend going in there and adding like a highlight, but doing all that work might be too much for a comic. Like it might be too much detail than what you want to go into. So like I like the idea, but I think you'd have to be really particular about what colors you're choosing for your line art versus like what you're putting underneath it, just so that you don't have any contrast issues like that. But the colors themselves are like vibrant and nice. Again, just a contrast issue. And as for the last one, where it's very black and white with just like color splashes, honestly, for this one, I'd love to see a mix of this and that second style you had, where you have these like white highlights really shaping the shapes. So like instead of just using line art to distinguish like edges on like black clothing and objects and stuff, like having those highlights on there, those like color blocks. The line art should be distinct from the color it's surrounding. I take the darkest color in the image and make it slightly darker for the line art. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Finding the right style is such a balancing act. It really is. I understand. But yeah, again, I think this is just like a personal preference thing where I really like this because, for one, I feel like it would be easy to do because you're basically just doing line art and then some light color fills. You're not like doing some super high intensity shading stuff or lots of different colors. So this feels like one of the easiest options to do while still choosing, like still having color in it. Yeah, I don't know. I like it because it's high contrast, and it seems like it would be easy to do. Yeah, that would be my advice. I like this. I think of them, my favorite would be this one or the second style, just because there's good contrast going on. I love the white highlights, like I was saying. So yeah, take that as you will. If I were you, I would pick the one that fits the mood for you the most. Like if it's these more kind of bright styles, or if it's these more kind of like black and white moody styles. Whichever one suits the tone of your comic better, and then out of those, which one is easier to do. Which one takes the least amount of time. But yeah, that is my take on things. Hopefully that is helpful for you, Caro, in making up your mind. I know that can be tough. Yeah. I think that's it. So, Farwin, I think Bones was saying that we will read yours for Saturday, possibly? Yeah, okay. So we'll do that, because I did not have time to read it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just double check, but I think that is everything. Yes. Yeah. Awesome, so ends part 1 of the critique streams this month. So the next one will be on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Are we in Standard Time? Yes? Okay. Eastern Time. There we go. Are you looking at older posts or newer ones? We are looking at submissions from our Patreon supporters. So if you go to our Patreon link down below, the $8 tier will get you access to have your work critiqued every month. So yeah, oh yeah, this Saturday you could sign up today and get your stuff critiqued on Saturday. If you feel so inclined. It does feel weird breaking them into 2. It feels too quick. I'm like, no, there's gotta be more. We're done so fast. I'm not used to this. Hello. You did it. Strong. Powerful. Alright, well, I guess that's it. I guess we'll go.
We shaved an hour off of the night.
That's true, we did. It'll go faster on Saturday too, and my voice won't die. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you to the people who submitted. You're lovely. You're strong for getting your stuff critiqued. So yeah, we'll see you guys on Saturday.